Welcome to the first episode of 2025. Before you race ahead to your new goals, to your resolutions, your visions for 2025, your new year, new me statements, whatever it is that you're doing, I want you to ask yourself, what if the key to unlocking it all was actually accepting exactly where you are right now? Even though where you are right now is not where you want to be. This was one of the most potent lessons that I have ever learned on my business journey. And we are going to talk about that today. So, welcome to another episode of Alive and Thriving. If you are brand new here, then I am so happy that you have found this podcast. My name is Jessica Reed. I am an alternative therapist and business mentor. And as we dive in to this fresh year, I want to start by sharing a little bit of a truth bomb. Setting big goals and intentions is magical. Okay, we all feel it at the beginning of the year. There's something in the air, isn't there, about setting what this whole new year, new me is going to look like. But here's where the real magic begins. The real magic actually begins when we lower the resistance to where we are right now. Because it is very easy to feel frustrated when we look at the fact that we're not as far along as what we thought we'd be or as what we wanted to be. And in this moment right now, you are likely very caught up in the hope, in the desire of these new goals that you are setting and these new heights that you want to reach. And you're riding that high and you might be taking action steps towards that. But what might happen shortly, and I do see this a lot in my work, and I've been there myself, is that then we come back down to reality a little bit. And then we start going, oh, but I'm not there yet, but I wish I was there. Oh, I thought I'd reach that by this first quarter in March, but I actually haven't reached that goal. And then we start maybe looking at our business's finances, our personal growth, and we start thinking things like, I should be further ahead by now. And trust me, I've been there and I know what that feels like. But here's the thing. There is this version of you that is perfectly aligned with where you are today. There is a reason why you are not there yet. And that resistance that you're bringing in to not being there yet, that resistance, that frustration that you're feeling is actually blocking you from stepping into that version of you who is already there. So, for whatever reason, there are lessons to learn in this place right now. There is growth for you to have. Maybe there's systems in your business that need to be implemented. There is growth to be embraced in the here and the now. And by accepting this moment fully, this one where you are not where you want to be, by accepting that you are where you are and that this journey is going to take you along that path, lowering that resistance, then you are going to create that energetic pathway to step into your next level. So, from today's episode, you are going to take away why acceptance is the first step to alignment and manifestation. You are going to take away how to release resistance and step into your next level self. And I'm going to take you through a guided EFT tapping session a bit later in this episode to really ground you into where you are right now and to lower that resistance. And maybe in your personal mind, in your mind, in your finances, in your business. We're going to lower that resistance so that you stop meeting the current moment with resistance. Because that to me is one of the most powerful shifts that you can make when you are looking at bringing anything into your world. So if this sounds like exactly what you need to hear today, then grab a quiet moment, get comfortable, and let's dive in. I want to ask you, what would shift if you gave yourself permission to love where you are right now? Or even just accept where you are right now? How would your goals feel if they were fueled by gratitude for the present instead of frustration with the past? And what resistance could you release if you believed that you are actually exactly where you are meant to be right now? You just start thinking about what is possible as you ponder these questions. Because acceptance is the key to alignment. Now, I recorded a full episode on acceptance. Oh gosh, it would have been nearly 2 years ago. And I still have people come and say that episode changed everything for me. So if you want, maybe if you'd like a link to it, or if you search in your podcast listening, streaming place, search acceptance, and that should come up. But if you want the link directly, come and DM me. I can send it to you. But let's start here. Let's start with you are where you are for a reason. And maybe it's because there is a foundational system to build. I remember in my first year my first year in a mastermind, my second year in business, and I was like, I'm going to join this mastermind and they're going to tell me what to do. And then my business is just going to explode. And that's it. And by the end of the year, I thought I'd be turning over $100,000 profit. Like I was like, yep, this is what's going to happen. The end of that first year, I turned over $5,000. $5,000 in that year. And there was this part of me that was so frustrated with where I was. Now, towards the end of that year, I was also doing my hypnotherapy diploma at that point in time too. So I wasn't fully energetically in my business. I was also doing this huge study as well as being a mum, as growing a business, as being in containers. Like I was doing all these things, right? But there was this lesson that I sat in with our Gestalt therapy teacher, and she was talking about acceptance. And she was talking about, and she gave this example, and I have used this example so many times, and you may have heard this from me before. If you are in an airplane and you are mid flight and your brain starts going, I want to get off this plane, I want to get off this plane, I want to get off this plane, then what happens is you are going to have this full stress response, aren't you? You're going to be really internally unhappy with where you are. You may even anxiety, panic, because you are not in acceptance of where you are in that moment. I want you to think about your business. In that year, I can count so many times where I felt deflated, I felt defeated, I felt sad. I had all these stories going on because I wasn't where I wanted to be in my business. And then I stopped and I went, okay, what happens if I actually just start accepting where I am now? Because there's a reason I'm not there yet. And I didn't know what that reason was at the time. I couldn't see it. I couldn't step back and see a bigger picture yet. I hadn't even done this reflection to see what I'm about to share with you in a minute. Because what if there was a reason that I am where I am? How can I meet this moment with acceptance? And so I started coming into my work every day and looking at the things that I had and looking at the amount of clients I was working with, looking at my office, the way that it was, everything, and literally sitting down and starting my day with this practice of this is where I am. This is where I'm at. This is how many clients I have. This is the money that's coming in. This is the money that's going out. This is where I am in my early stage of baby business. And I accept that. And once I started accepting that, there was this whole big shift because I no longer started coming to people and speaking about my offers in a way of desperation. You can feel that energy of desperation. That's that scarcity base. That's that I need to replace my income. I need these clients. I need to be working with this amount of people. I need to sell something. People feel that from you. And I was in that. I'd be launching and I'd be like, I need 25 people in my membership because to make this $37 a month membership viable, I need to eventually have 200 people by the end of this year. There was no acceptance in where I actually was. And where I was in the beginning of that year was an email list of 47 people, a very small Instagram following that were not warm to me yet. I didn't have the know, like, and trust yet in my audience. I hadn't established any kind of authority in my space. I had no systems in place. That where I was not an energetic match to actually bring in what I wanted. But I had so much resistance to being there. But what also happened when I lowered that resistance was I started to enjoy the journey. My whole inner narrative changed. So again, maybe there's foundational systems that you need to build. And what I reflected on at the end of that year was like, okay, maybe I didn't make the money I wanted to make, but I actually implemented so many systems in my business. I hired help in my business. I did all of these things that have set me up with these building blocks. I established my brand. I found a lead magnet that worked and grew my email list to, I think 1,800. I can't quite remember. But it was significant for a year. I did all of these things that have actually given me this huge foundation to actually start making money in the second year. So maybe there's foundational systems. Maybe there's an inner lesson that you need to integrate. Because the second year for me, the second year again, if I look, it's like I'm not where I want to be, but I am accepting my journey. But the second year for me was all about my money mindset. There was so much to do in my money mindset. And sorry, not the second year, the next year. There was so much to do in my money mindset. And that was my focus. That was my inner lessons that I had to integrate. I had to actually find safety in my nervous system. I had to embody, I had to let go of past trauma around money. The shame that I carried around the loss of that business I have shared with you guys before. All of these things I had to do. So maybe there is still a version of you that needs to grow into this next chapter. That's what we do at Embodied Entrepreneur, by the way. Acceptance isn't about giving up. It's not going, oh, this is where I am, and so I'll just accept it and now I'll do nothing. Acceptance is about grounding yourself into this present moment so you can fully open up to what is possible. Because when we resist where we are, we create these energetic blocks. But when we accept and we honor our current space, we lower that resistance and we raise our vibration. And there is then a clear path that opens up in front of us for us to consciously choose aligned action. I would love for you to take a big deep breath now and just really reflect on this. What is this season here for you, here to teach you? Maybe you might even like to reflect on a lesson or an insight that you can even embrace from today. What is this season preparing you for? How much resistance have you been bringing to where you are now? Because resistance keeps you stuck. Resistance can look like frustration. It can look like overwhelm, this constant feeling of not enough. It keeps us stuck in these comparison states. Judgment, fear, all makes it harder to move forward. Here is the shift, right? Lowering the resistance is not about forcing this positivity. I am not about toxic positivity in any way, shape, or form. All of these emotions have a purpose. They have a message. We need to learn to feel them safely. But what this is about gently acknowledging where you are right now, releasing judgment from where you are right now, letting go of someone else's journey as you are on your own, and allowing yourself to make space for ease. And that pressure, that acceptance, that is going to help you to step into ease. So you might like to spend a moment just noticing where resistance is showing up in your body. Get really familiar with what that feels like. Is it a knot in your stomach? Is it tension in your chest? Is it racing thoughts? This feeling of heaviness. I think I said at the beginning, I felt defeated and I felt deflated. And I know for me, that was this sensation of heaviness, this tightness in my stomach, this sadness almost as well. I want you to get really familiar with what this feels like in your body and bring awareness to it without trying to change it. As you bring awareness to this, you may be feeling a bit of discomfort. Now, one of my favorite tools for releasing this resistance, this discomfort in your body is EFT tapping. If you are not new around here, you've heard me talking about tapping a lot. Tapping allows you to regulate your nervous system, to shift your energy, and to rewire the subconscious patterns that are keeping you stuck. So, what I actually really wanted to do with you right now is take you through a short tapping session together so that we can ground ourselves in this place of acceptance and we can clear the way for aligned action. Now, I ran a whole 1 hour tapping circle a couple of months ago on the topic of accepting where you are now. And it goes through multiple areas of life and business. In this one, it's not just business focused. But if you would like access to that, then I am actually going to gift that to you. All you have to do is send me a DM. It won't be automated. Send me a DM and I will send you the link to this tapping circle. Just pop over and say, "Can I have that tapping circle?" And I will gift that to you. So let's start tapping. If you are watching on YouTube, then you can see that I am tapping on the side of my hand. Now, if you have never tapped before, I'm going to talk through the points, but I'm not going to go through right now and tell you exactly where they are. I'm just going to say where we're tapping. I have a diagram that if you would like a copy of, again, come and DM me and I will send it to you. I'll flick it through to you in the messengers. You can scroll my Instagram feed. I have a blog that goes through when and how to tap. So all of these resources are available. But for right now, we're going to tap on the side of our hand and we're just going to repeat the words, even though I feel frustrated with where I am right now. I deeply and completely accept myself. And I'm pausing so you can say these words. Sorry, itchy nose. I'm pausing so you can say these words. Even though I feel like I should be further ahead, I honor this moment and where I am in my journey. And even though I'm holding on to resistance, I choose to release it and open myself up to alignment. So, as we start tapping now on the other points, I want you to just bring that awareness back into your body, back to where you feel the discomfort of the resistance. And tapping now up on your eyebrow. I feel like I should be further ahead. Inside of the eye, I'm frustrated with where I am right now. Under the eye, why does it feel so hard to accept this moment? Under the nose, I've been holding on to so much resistance. Under your mouth, I judge myself for not being further along. Collarbone, I'm comparing myself to others who seem further ahead. Under the arm, and I feel this resistance in my body. Top of the head, I honor these feelings, but I am ready to let them go. Coming back to your eyebrow, taking a big deep breath. What if I could release this frustration? Side of the eye. What if I'm exactly where I'm meant to be? Under the eye. This moment is a part of my growth. Under the nose, and I choose to trust my journey. Under the mouth, I honor the lessons in this season. Collarbone, I am safe to embrace where I am now. Under the arm, I release resistance and open myself up to alignment. Top of the head, as I fully choose to accept where I am right now. Take a nice big deep breath, and I just want you to check back in on those feelings. Those are 2 short rounds of EFT. Maybe you need to just rewind a little bit and do those 2 again, but how is that resistance feeling in your body? And again, if this is big for you, then DM me and I will send you that tapping circle. Do you feel a shift? As you start to step into this acceptance, you will start to feel just how powerful it is. It doesn't mean you're settling. It means that you are creating the energetic foundations to manifest your goals from a place of ease and a place of alignment. So, as you move now into your 2025 goals, and perhaps you've done the energetic business cleanse that I shared with you all a fortnight ago, and now you're meeting yourself with compassion, with lowered resistance to exactly where you're coming into this year from. And maybe you need to spend some time journaling to get really clear on that. Where am I exactly right now? Not just in my statistics, what do my email list look like and my followers, but where am I in my mind? Because if my conscious mind wants to be at $1 million turnover, but my subconscious beliefs and all of my actions and decisions embody scarcity and fear, then I need to accept that's where I'm starting from. So I invite you to carry this energy of acceptance with you as you set those big, bold intentions, and do this with gratitude for the present and the trust in your journey. Now, if today's episode resonated with you, I would love to know. Pop into my DMs, Instagram, jessica.reed.ilc, and just let me know if this resonated with you, where you are at. I absolutely love hearing from you guys, and you come and tell me, oh, I listened to that podcast episode. It makes my day. And if you are ready to dive into this work even deeper, then you may like to have a conversation about my private mentoring space or about the Transcendence Mastermind or Embodied Entrepreneur. Those are my 3 core programs as we record this that I can help you to transform your mind, your body, your energy, your business, your nervous system state, like everything. We are going to transform you from the inside out. We are going to help you to have the most abundant, expansive, and aligned business from the inside out. So, depending on what you need, one of those 3 programs may very well meet you there. So, if you'd like to have a conversation about what it is you need, again, pop into my DMs and just say, I'm curious, obligation free chat, because I might not have what you need. You might need something completely different, and I'll be very transparent about that if that's the case. Now, I have all these free resources linked for you below down in the show notes. So also be sure to go down and check out that. Can subscribe if you have not. My goodness, I feel like those YouTubers that my daughter watches. Can subscribe, guys. Don't forget to like this video. Oh my God, that was the worst accent ever. I don't even know what that was. Oh, I apologize. You can subscribe, share this with your business bestie who also needs to meet herself exactly where she is at. And I will see you all on next week's episode.